Okay, each one of them work and represent these companies as attorneys, legal defense attorneys for these companies, best friends and close friends and colleagues to these corporate owners and corporate CEOs, and also connected to every event that's been happening over the last 10 years inside of the United States. They are all interconnected. These are what we classify and what the government of the United States, if it was legitimately running by American citizens, would classify as Israeli spies operating with very fully and very actively with inside of our administration of the United States as well as around the entire world. Now, this is clear evidence to show you, ladies and gentlemen, this is not, and this is all backed up by many different evidence that were posted before you, showing you even on their websites where they brag and boast about how that they're hiring Israeli students to give propaganda news, to manipulate the internet, to manipulate the Facebook. You've seen documents on top of that where they were even given extraordinary powers to do so. Okay, this is, and now these companies, such as the Adam Lanza's father, works for General Electric, who is also producing software for a company called Serco. Serco is another company who owns just about every entity around the entire world, who are also partners with EMC, okay? Which we're going to cover all that. You're going to see all of this, okay? Also, the shooting, the Aurora shooter, that James Holmes' father worked for a company called FICO, creating what they call the most sophisticated and the most powerful algorithm software that was designed to manipulate credit scoring as a way to give these big corporate companies like Serco and EMC the power of buying power by manipulating their credit scores to give them access to buying everything at dirt cheap. In other words, putting out small businesses such as Kmart's versus Walmart's, okay? Putting all, and also like these little small stores, putting them all out of business. Made it very easy for them to do this, okay? Now, but as you can see, you're fixing to see that these are all tied together. Now, the Emily Parker, the poster girl that had supposedly had died in Sandy Hook, okay? Her father, Robert, works for a company that works with securities, which we will cover. I think I've covered this before with you all on my last video, but he works for a company out of Utah that is also in partnership with Serco. And I will give you all this information on my next video. We're not going to cover this one tonight, but I will make it on the part 2 video. We're showing you how Serco, FICO, and all these other companies were all tied together with the LIBOR scandal. Were involved and were all tied together with the situation that happened in Europe when the LIBOR scandal broke the airwaves, okay? And is also now under criminal investigations, and a committee has been drawn together to investigate Robert Holmes as well as the the Lanza family. And there's so much information here, guys. So if I'm getting tongue twisted here, I apologize. The Robert Lanza and the Robbie Parker, and also the Robert Holmes, all were tied together working for these companies: General Electric, Serco, representing FICO, blah blah blah. You fill in the blanks. So I will show all of that on the next video. How it's even also tied to EMC, how it's all connected to EMC, and how it's connected to the Vatican, the scandal that happened in the Vatican. We're all tied together to what took place inside of Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook was not the agenda. Sandy Hook was not the stage, was just only a fall guy attempt to get gun control. That was the purpose of what these people were trying to do. Now, I'm going to go to much more. This is you thought that this is over with, huh? Just watch this. Okay. Let's see here if this is when I want to be on here real quick. Let me jump back over here. Just give me 1 second. Okay, we already covered that. Yeah, we'll go back over here. Okay. Alrighty. Now, executive orders as critical infrastructure cybersecurity. What are they saying? Well, here you see, again, more evidence cybersecurity has been given executive orders and powers. These are all companies that were given all of the executive privileges of different types of attempts or different types of espionage, cyber attacks, and controlling and monitoring everyone's computer systems under the false illusion of cyber warfare. Okay, cybersecurity was given continues to be critical and important to our nation. EMC supports the President's efforts via executive orders to help drive and improve collaborations between the public and private sectors. How can, ladies and gentlemen, ask yourself this question, serious question. How can a company who's been found guilty in a court of law for fraudulently making false claims and filing false claims and even found guilty in a court of law, still able to function very powerfully for the United States government? Wouldn't that be a conflict of interest where the U.S. government's working now with criminals, with known criminals on the record, and still the government are not being held in their checks and balances of their relations to this company, and why that they're not, and why are no one even questioning the U.S. government and this Obama administration of their relations to this company? But they want these companies to have power and control over your freedoms of rights to access to the internet, and then try to use false claims that you are a terrorist, that you are a criminal trying to do cyber espionage, spying on your nation, and trying to label you as a terrorist against your own country because you are telling the truth? Come on, people. This is very angering. It's so frustrating that people see it all in their faces, but they don't question this legitimacy relationship of United States to Israel. They see in documents over documents over documents that these companies are from Israel. They are not American citizens here. They should never have access to our national security systems. Never. A foreign nation should never have access to another nation's security systems. But why are we allowing this country, not only our country, but every country in the world, allowing Israel to have access to every cyber information around the world, all tied into their little network? And this is not a little network, because this network is also in partnership with the largest corporate company that is not even it is the least known corporate company that is more powerful than any company in the world. Serco owns just about every company in the entire world, and are partners, very huge partners with people like this and General Electric. Now, move on. This is crazy stuff, guys. I am like flabbergasted. Here you go. 2013 Cybersecurity's Executive Orders Overview. Considerations for Congress. Well, this is no longer a consideration. They didn't even give the Congress a right to even legitimately debate over this. They simply granted them the power. Okay? Now, this is where it gets beautiful. This is from the EMC corporations laying it all out on how they're going to go after all of your computer systems. Isn't this amazing? Advanced Cyber Defense, ACD, in practice. Proven security expertise. Now, remember what I've said in all of my videos, that every time and any time you've ever heard me speak about government or conspiracies in government or corruptions in government, blah, 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 or even, label myself as a conspiracy theorist, all of my videos have told you all that everything is not as it seems. It's all in reverse. Where in one sense, they're trying to make you think it's all about your security. But this is right out, just plain out in your damn opening eyes. Listen to what they say about the United States government. Targeted computer attacks by what? By government agencies, cyber criminals, and terrorists and or individuals the intent of stealing intellectual properties, okay, trade secrets, or other political or economical motivations. See, they're even calling America and all government agencies as criminals. It's not they're criminals. They're just using it as an excuse to steal all of their information. I'll just trust it all with this company here. They have all the trust in the world with every information in the world about you. I mean, but it lays it all out. What we are seeing in the field, I mean, it goes on. And it shows all the involving attack landscapes. North Korea as propaganda. These are all propaganda news. Oh, wait a minute. What in the hell do I see there? They're even attacking, listen carefully, anonymous conspiracy theorist companies. But notice that all these people here, the anonymous, all these are all hired actors, non-state actors acting out where Israel wants them to act. See, they're not a part of us. They're not even conspiracy theorists. They work for the system. That's why they're so big and why they're involved in the cyber, in this falsehood of the cyber news story that you all been hearing about. So, and it just goes on and on. Nation states and the insider threat. See, it's even talking about. Remember, I told you about. They're the ones that created what they call the national or the nation state and the national state actors. Okay, or the non-state actors, shall I say? Blend attacks. Notice how that they just lay it all out in the line, how that we're all just after everybody's information. We're the guilty party. Cyber threat, intelligence defined, intelligence, the collections of information, and military, economic, blah, 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 blah. And it just goes on, and just, as you see through here, it just goes on and on, you know, about all their agendas of how that they're going to control everyone's information globally. And it's not just, they're not talking about small fry crap. They're talking about controlling every computer system in the entire world. In other words, globalizing it under one rule of order.